Welcome to our second session of our paddleboard class. Today we'll do a little more standing flow. Last week we focused on just the low flow, staying low. Today we'll make our way up into a couple warriors and a couple nice big stretches and a bear pose flow in place of our sun salutations. Last week we did a seated sun salutation. And I have all of these that you can print off. So you girls just let me know if that's something you wanted. So we'll be starting on our boards. So getting on there. We'll take an easy seat first. Depends on where you want to be. If you wanted to be facing the end of your board, or if you prefer to be lengthwise. So I'll leave that up to you. I'm going to go this way. And we'll find an easy crisscross position. And we want to anchor down into our board. So equally dispersing the weight into our sit bones, relaxing those shoulders down and away from our ears. Just close our eyes. Taking in some deep breaths. Taking in our surroundings. If we were out on the water, we can have our palms down, or you could place your palms up to the sun. Closing our eyes and breathing. If you've got your paddleboard with some pillows underneath it, you might notice some rocking. Closing our eyes, anchoring to the water, to our board. Rooting down into our board and rising up through the crown of our head as we soften through our shoulders, but keep our core strong. And then we'll start our warm up. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale, hands come back down to our sides, or maybe they touch our board just to get in connection with it. Inhale, reaching again, and we'll twist to one side. So your right hand goes to your left knee and your opposite hand goes to the back of your board. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, twist to the other side. Now remember, we have to go a bit slower on our paddleboard. Inhale, come up again. Now we'll take our right hand down to the mat and reach our left arm just straight up so that we can still anchor down into our left sit bone so we don't tip over. Bring it back down. And then the other side will inhale, reach. Exhale, bring that left hand down and reach the right arm just straight up while we anchor into our sit bone. And release. We'll bring our hands back behind us, opening up into chest expansion. Big breath in, and then diving forward. Well, not diving into the water, just diving forward towards your mat. Check in, and we'll put that all together again. Engage the core, lift up, sweep arms up, inhale. Exhale, hands come back to our sides. Inhale, sweep again. And we'll twist over to one side. Inhale, reaching. Exhale, twisting to the other side. Inhale, reach. And now it's that reach up, a slight tip. Reach it down, other side reaches up. Got some stretch down the side of our body. Hands come back behind us, take a big breath in. And then we'll dive forward, maybe bringing our forearms to the mat or to the board. Inhale, sweep up. Exhale, twist. Inhale, sweep up, anchor into the sit bones, keep the core strong, twist the other side. Maybe you're looking over a shoulder that time, over to one side, or just the active reach up. Bring the hand down, actively reach through the opposite arm. Hands come back behind us, we breathe in. And exhale, we tip. So our back's nice and warm now. Let's walk those hands towards the body. We'll do a little stretch. You can have your fingertips away from you and opening up across the chest. We're here for about 5 breaths, and I'm going to check to see if anyone's in the waiting room. Okay, good. So you've got your nice big stretch there. And then if you wanted to now, you'll press into your shins and lift your hips up off the mat, off the board. I think it's just a automatic saying that, say mat instead of board. I'll call it a moored. All right, bring it down. Now the soles of the feet are going to come together. If you feel more comfortable going the opposite way, Go on ahead. Find the center of your board, draw the feet together. We'll hold onto our ankles, root down through our backside, and then lengthen through the spine. Breathing in. Holding here for 5 breaths. Our pelvic floor is strong and engaged. We'll do some pelvic health on the next class. One more breath in. And on an exhale, we'll dive forward. Now you might not come down too far. If that feels too intense for your hips, create more of a diamond shape here with your feet and then dive forward, but still anchor into the sit bones at the back, dispersing our weight, holding here for 5 breaths. 5 big, slow, mindful breaths. I think we'll be able to do our next session if you guys are interested in person, if you do want to, or we'll just do a couple drop-in paddleboard classes. Let's walk those hands back up and into a boat pose. Walking the feet a little bit apart. Now I want you to actively press into your feet and your sit bones. So try to engage the back of your legs. Your posterior chain is nice and strong. And our hands will just be reaching here for our knees. Breathe. So in a normal class, we're really focusing on the core, but in our paddleboard classes, we also want to practice on dispersing that weight through the body, opening up across our chest in our boat. Breathe. Now we'll lift the chest just slightly and also reach the arms up. So we're still wanting to press into our feet to keep ourselves from wobbling around. Hi, Bumbler. I'm just a person, not a fly or not a flower. And there we go. Now you'll bring your knees, hands back. Here for 3 breaths. If you want to play around with lifting a foot or lifting the other foot, you can. Make sure if you are going to lift both feet, that our weight is in the middle of our board. Last one. Pressing both hands in, slide your backside just a little bit closer to the middle of your board. Come down onto your forearms. So another variation of boat here. Open up across the chest, press into the hands, the forearms, and then we can reach both of our feet straight. If that feels really uncomfortable for you, no big deal. Put your feet back down. Hold here, breathing. You can engage your quadricep muscles. Feel nice and strong here, and maybe we're looking at our toes, letting go of any judgment. Breathe in some patience and some understanding for your body. It's amazing what it can do for you. We give it some love and some attention. Let's put the feet back down now. Moving into a bridge. So we're going to hold 3 poses, and then we're going to flow through them. Starting in a bridge pose with our head down on the mat, our hands by our sides, lifting up our hips. Focus on pressing into those shoulders again, pressing into the feet. Breathe. Holding here for 5 breaths. If you were on the water, this would just be such a nice place to rest for a while. Now we'll bring the hips down, slide the soles of the feet together, and allow the hips to open up or the knees to open up out to the sides. Again, if you're on the water, you could be putting your hands in the water here for 5 breaths. I think I will pretend to put my hands in the water. I might make my way down to the water after this practice, actually. Practice these poses. A few ants. All right, bring the soles of the feet back to the mat. Lift up and then lift one leg. If that does not feel nice for you, go to your regular bridge or even put your hips down on the mat or the board. Back to bridge pose. Now we'll put it together with a flow. So here we are in our bridge pose. Take an inhale here. and an exhale. One more breath in. Now lower the hips into our supine butterfly. So we're laying down, soles of the feet together. Exhale, bring the feet back to the mat. Inhale, lift up into your bridge. Exhale, reach one foot up. Take a breath in. Exhale, place it back down into bridge. Take a breath in. Exhale, bring our hips to the mat. Inhale, open up into supine butterfly. Exhale back as we lift up into bridge, and then lift the opposite foot up. Bring it down, placing both hips back down. And we'll go through that one more time on either side. Inhale, lift up into your bridge. Exhale, take it down into your butterfly. Inhale, place the foot onto the mat, lift into bridge. Exhale, reach one foot up. Inhale, place that foot back down on the mat. Exhale, down onto your supine butterfly. Inhale, back to bridge, lifting the hips. Exhale, lifting the opposite foot. Inhale, coming back to bridge. Exhale, bringing it back down onto our backs. Wonderful job. So now taking our knees off to one side into a little flow. Maybe you've got your hands in your water. We'll hold here on our windshield wipers. And then the other side. 3 breaths, opening our chest up to the sun, the stars, the moon. Bring it back. We'll engage our core, bring our hands by our sides. We'll be pushing ourselves up into a seated position again, and then making our way. So this would be a spot if you're on the water to put those feet in the water and make our way to all fours. So take your time, both of your hands will go forward. You're sweeping your one foot back. I am by no means an actual paddleboard teacher, a yoga teacher. All right, come to all fours. And let's do some barrel rolls with our ribs. So make sure we've got enough space between our knees, and we'll drop our ribs towards the floor, bring it around and draw it up. So it's like you're making a big barrel. Start to notice how the belly button draws up into the spine. Your chest is going towards the board, then you're pushing down into your board with both hands. Last one, and then we'll go the other way. Really nice warm up for our spine. Last one. Coming back to our all fours. And here's a fun one. It's called hovering cat pose. So the tops of our feet stay on the mat. I've done this with you guys, well, with my regular clients, with our toes onto the mat and then lifting our shins up, which could be an option for you. Or today it's called hovering cat. The tops of our feet are on the mat and we lift up here. Breathe. Looking somewhere between our hands, or we're just holding all fours, enjoying our breath. A couple more breaths here. We'll drop our knees down, bring our big toes together, slide some space between the knees and move back into child's pose, walking our hands out. Now you could stack your fists if your head doesn't come right down to your board for your forehead. So it'd be an awesome spot to be in if you're on the water. You could close your eyes, really feel that connection down into the water, the earth. One more breath in our child's pose and we're back up to all fours. Remember, moving slowly, dispersing that weight. We move slow. We'll be reaching our left foot back and pointing the toes down towards the mat. If we're feeling unsteady, drop the toe down as an anchor. So we're here, looking forward, feeling the length of our spine, but reaching through our back heel. Bring it down. and then reaching the opposite hand forward, but still anchoring into the other 3 points. Looking at our mat. And down. So let's go with the left foot now, reaching, or your right foot, whichever one you didn't do. Think of the hips facing the mat. Breathe. Or the board. Keep saying mat. I might have to put a little bit more bug spray on. Bring it down, and then the other hand goes forward. The strength of your core. And then we're going to add a little bit of a flow, reaching our right arm forward, left foot back. If it doesn't feel good, tap the board instead. Bring it back to all fours. So either extension or the tap, and then back to all fours. All on your own. Got about 5 of those. I'm going to throw on just a little bit more bug spray. Getting me through my shorts. No big deal. Sorry, mosquitoes, not today. Last one. And now we'll add our crunch in the middle. We reach right arm, left leg, and then elbow to knee underneath the body, crunch it up. Extension again, and then down. Other side. Whoa, it's a big bee. Last one. I wonder what my neighbors think of me out here just talking to myself. Keep going. There we go, beautifully done. So now we take it to a tiger flow or tiger tail flow. Anchor down into both of our hands. Now we'll lift our left foot up or your right. And that heel is reaching up towards that beautiful sky or your ceiling. A few pulses to activate your glute. We'll hold, bend and flex the toe. So point, flex, point, flex. And then try to bring your toe closer towards the back of your head. Holding here, you can wag your tail if you want to. And bring it down. Let's do the other side, lifting the opposite foot up. First, we'll start with the foot flexed position and some taps towards the ceiling. It's like you're trying to stamp your heel up there. Then we'll hold. Think about your core again, pointing and flexing, then pointing and trying to bring the toe towards the back of your head. Is mine close? Yeah, awesome. Amazing job, guys. Just love your body no matter where you are in the journey of healing or fitness. Enjoy it. Bring it down. Let's go back to a wide leg child's pose this time. A nice lot of space there. We'll drop our bellies down in between our thighs. Just let them rest. It's okay to soften your core. We don't always have to have it fully engaged. We want to find some breath in the belly sometimes. So take a breath or two here, really focusing on filling up your diaphragm, really opening up in the lower part. Wonderful. We're going to be coming up to a kneeling pose, walking those knees towards each other a little bit. Make sure you're in the middle of your board again. If it doesn't feel nice to be on your knees, if you're taking care of them or healing them today, then maybe an easy seated position. Our right hand will go to our left knee, and the opposite hand will reach back for our board or your lower back. We're stretching our quads, just adding a little twist on here, checking out the scenery. And then that chin will come around. Let's take a breath in here, just open up the wings. Exhale over to the other side. This is going to be so fun to do on the water. Bring that chin around and then the chest around and rise up into a kneeling position. We'll reach our arms up. If you're taking care of your knees, please do have just a regular seat here with your legs hanging off the edge of your board in the water. So while we're pressing into our knees, we're still anchoring through the backs of our feet, and it might feel good to have the tops of the feet down or all of your toes. You could even work towards, depending on how flexible your feet are, Getting all 5 toes down on your mat with the heels facing up towards the sky. So the fascia on the bottoms of my feet are pretty tight. So this is intense. It might not be intense for you. Wonderful. So we can hold here, or we've got a couple options as we move into camel. A few options for your back. Maybe just the lower back, fully supported by the hands, elbows walk towards each other, or fists. Now, as we move into camel, think of these hips of yours, those amazing hips of yours, staying on top of your knees. So we don't want to lean back. Think of it as a chest opener rather than trying to reach your feet. So we're here, or if we can keep our hips forward, maybe we check in and see, oh, can I reach one side? Maybe I can. I'll reach the other arm up and just breathe first. Chest opening over, trying to reach your feet or the board. Bringing the arm down, maybe hold your belly, come back up, reach up and see if you can reach the other foot. If you can't, no big deal, you're not alone. Here we go. And then if you wanted to try, you'd reach back for both feet, but keeping the chest open. I'd like us to continue to keep our gaze forward, maybe slightly up, but we aren't going to try to look back. We'll be nice to our necks. Breathe. Oh, mosquitoes. All right, my friends, tops of the feet go back down onto the mat. We're moving into a side gate pose. So we're shifting our weight so that now we're facing the long edge of our board. We've got one knee down, one foot out, and rising up into our gate pose. Breathe. Reaching, but anchoring into our foot, anchoring into our knee, and then our arms are going to go out nice and wide, or they could have been there to start with because of balance. Reaching long. Close your eyes, soften through the shoulders, lengthen through the neck, strengthen through the core, rooting down into the earth. Switching sides. So take it slow. You'll draw one knee in, sweep that foot out. The sole of the foot's on the board. Rise up. Breathe. Could hook on your foot onto the back of your board here. Relaxing the shoulders again, but keeping the strength. We'll keep our eyes open for today's practice. Wonderful. Just a breath or two more. Really feel where you are. Really appreciate that breath. That breath will never happen again. Completely unique to this moment. All right, let's get another flow in there. As we bring our hands to the front of our board, making our way back to all fours, we're going to flow now from downward dog into striking cobra, or pardon me, plank pose, striking cobra, and then we'll be pushing back to downward dog and lowering back down into plank or chaturanga. So let's start in our plank, nice and strong. If you don't feel like going all the way down to your board, you don't have to. For today's practice, if you wanted to make it a little more challenging, we go down onto the board and then come into chaturanga. And chaturanga is lifting up the chest and the thighs off the mat about halfway up. So you're either there or you're here in cobra pose. So cobra or chaturanga, and then we push up into striking cobra, put the tops of the feet on the mat. Our hips are off, striking cobra, or hips are down. I think maybe hips are down when it comes to paddleboard. Then we'll turn the tops of our feet. So the toes are back on, reach with our hips, go back to downward facing dog, pressing into both hands and both feet. All right, we're going to go right into striking cobra. Coming forward, tops of the feet go onto the mat, and we open up, striking cobra, hips down or thighs down. Turn the feet back to downward facing dog. This time we'll add that Chaturanga from downward dog, floating into Chaturanga, moving into striking Cobra, pushing back to downward facing dog. Do that one more time, or here's your option. All fours, kneeling plank, then striking Cobra, then back to all fours. So one more time, you choose down dog or all fours, Chaturanga or kneeling plank, striking Cobra, and then back to downward facing dog or all fours. We'll be making our way standing, looking up between your hands, walking your feet to the center of your board, bending our knees, getting low, slowly rising up into chair. You could have your arms here, maybe they're out for balance, or they're up. Check in, disperse the weight, find your breath, find your balance today. Oh, mosquitoes. Wonderful. Here we are, and here we go. Our chair pose, exhale to mountain. So here's that little flow I wanted to show you. It's a bear pose flow, or bear flow. A little flow that you could do standing on your board. Well, it does bend. Okay, so we start in our mountain. Inhale, reach up. Clasp your hands together. Make sure you've got a sturdy base. Exhale, tip to one side. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, tip to the other side. Inhale again, extension, press into both feet. And then tip back. Soften the knees. Inhale, straighten up again. Exhale, forward fold. Take it slow. Bend your knees as much as you need to bring your hands to the mat. Right hand comes down, left arm reaches up. Inhale. You could be bending the knee of the same side hand that's down for a more intense stretch. And then back down. Inhale the other side. Exhale into our chair pose. Take a breath in here, and now bear pose. Belly to thighs. Oh my God, bug. Sorry. All right, bear pose, exhale. Inhale, reach up. Exhale to mountain. Let's do it again. Inhale, reach, clasping your hands. Exhale, tip over, anchor into both feet. Inhale, reach. Exhale, tip over. Inhale, reach. Exhale, tip back. Inhale, reach. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, sweep one arm up. Exhale, bring it down. Inhale, sweep the other arm up. Exhale, bring it down. Inhale, chair pose, lifting the chest. Exhale, bear pose. Belly to thighs, bend the knees, arms reach out. Inhale, back to mountain. Exhale, release. What a great flow. Let's do that one more time. Inhale, reach, clasp your hands. Exhale, tip to one side. Inhale, reach again. Exhale, tip to the other side. Inhale, reach. Exhale, tip back. Straighten again, and then folding forward. Let go of that tension in the spine. Reaching one arm up, inhale. Exhale, down. Other side, inhale. Exhale, down. Inhale to chair, so we're bending our knees, lifting the chest, reaching our arms up. And then exhale, arms are going wide, and then we're resting our belly on our bent thighs. Inhale to mountain pose. Exhale, relax. Bye, Izzy. Have a good day, sweetie. Okay, moving in to a nice big goddess pose. We're gonna lift our heels today. So one foot's gonna walk their way up to the top of your board, the other foot to the other end. Seems so easy when you're not on the water. All right, so we're dispersing the weight, and maybe those toes are going out slightly to the corners of your board. Bend the knees, shift the hips back, and actively press into both of our feet. Love it. All right, let's bring our hands up, palms together, or hands out for more balance. Now, if you'd like to today, lifting your heels up. Breathe, pelvic floor, strong, but still being able to breathe through. Hold here for a few more breaths. Strengthen the feet, the ankles, the knees, lengthen up the sides of our body. Heels go down, we straighten our legs and we're reaching our arms up into a more of a star position. Actively press, rooting down to rise up. Breathe. Close your eyes. Bending our knees again, palms coming together, heels lifting, holding here for 3 breaths. Slow it down. It is okay to slow down. Give yourself permission to slow down and enjoy nature, the earth, and each breath. All right, heels go down, both arms separate and they reach up. There's still a little bend in our knees as we press into both of our feet. Let's take our arms wide, turn our right toes towards the long edge of our board, our left toes more towards, right toes towards the short edge of your board, left toes long edge. Bend the right knee, and we find ourselves in Warrior Two. Here we are, gazing down our hand. Imagine the water there, reaching through our fingertips, dispersing that weight. Amazing, girls. Boys, if someone is watching this later. Love it. Hold here, breathe and feel. Notice the sensations in your body without judgment. Just a noticing, hey, how am I doing? I'm breathing. All right, we'll straighten out that front foot and reach both arms up. Now this is a reverse triangle. Your right leg is toes facing long edge, then your right hand reaches up and your back hand goes back towards your legs. Reverse triangle, breathe. We'll come to a nice strong T. So now both toes point towards the long edge of our mat. Then the left toes will point to the back of our board. Bend our knee, and here we are in our warrior on the other side. Oh, my watch is, oh, I thought it was dead. Yay, it's not dead. Reaching long, softening through the shoulders. Notice the surroundings around you, or close your eyes if you feel steady. A breath or two more as we draw the strength up from the earth. Straightening out that front leg, and we're reaching up into a reverse triangle pose. So there, back hand is safely on your back leg. Breathe. Back to our strong T, so our toes turn. We're moving into a lunge pose. Opposite side, right toes turn towards the long edge, and it'll be a kneeling lunge. So let's lift our back heel and drop that back knee down onto the mat or the board. So make sure that that one foot's on one side of that straight line of your board, and maybe the other one's down the other side for a nice strong foundation. Our right hand goes to our right knee. So we'll do 2 separate twists. Right hand to right knee, and then look back. Check in to see how that feels for you. Strong, a nice ringing out of our spine. Maybe we're looking down our backhand, and we'll follow that gaze as it comes around. Comes to the opposite knee. And then the other hand, you can choose to bring it back. Maybe you want to sink down a little more into your hip flexor. It can be there, or place it in your lower back to support. Breathe. We'll bring our chin around and then our chest around, come into a regular kneeling lunge, reaching up. And then shifting back, stretching our hamstrings out, hamstring on this side. Breathe. Depends on what you want to do with this foot here. The more you point it towards your forehead, the deeper of a stretch you'll get down the back of your leg. You can play around, see how it feels to bring it down. You'll stretch the front of your foot and your shin, and then bring it back. All right, walk those hands to frame the front foot, and we'll sweep that front foot back and slowly bring the opposite foot up between the hands on the inside and rise up into our lunge. Inhale. We'll take our right hand to our right knee and our left hand sweeps back for a twist. Check in with this front knee, make sure it doesn't follow you around. So you could even put your hand in front of it, reaching back. Sinking as much as you want to into your hip flexor. Even if you're holding your knee, you can kind of check in with it and see how it feels. Notice what happens when you're flexing and bending your knee. Pressing into the front foot, we'll come around, bring that opposite hand to the opposite knee, sink into our hip flexor, and then sweep the other arm back. So we've got our twist here. You'll be holding your knee. If this arm doesn't want to reach, just tuck it back. You'll still twist, promise. All right, getting close to the end of our practice. We're making our way to our belly for a few. Then we'll roll over and do a little back flow, and then our Savasana. So coming down right onto our bellies, right down onto the bellies, slowly lower. So our kneecaps are facing the floor. And now we'll move into Locust. I'll give you a couple options. You can lift just the kneecaps off, keep your head anchored or forearms down. Or we'll reach just the arms, reaching long, or you'll reach both. Let's keep our gaze down towards the mat though to lengthen our neck. You could look maybe underneath an arm if you wanted to look at the water. Trying to reach the end of our board in opposite directions with our feet and our hands. Let's place our hands underneath our shoulders, and we'll be pushing the downward facing dog or all fours. Actually, you know what? Just child's pose, unless you really wanted to do down dog. On the water, that might have been a big transition. Wonderful, ladies. So now we're going into our on the back. Take your time. We'll go to all fours. Shift your weight around onto one hip. Reach those feet through. I just realized Rhea wasn't in on this one. I'm gonna have to send her the recording. She went out and bought a paddleboard right after. Yay, Rhea. All right, so here we are, nice and long, an extended mountain on our board, hands by our sides. This is a place we could stay a long time. We'll be inhaling and reaching our arms long. Exhaling, drawing our left knee into chest, holding onto our knee. Inhaling, sole of that left foot going to your leg. We end up in a supine tree pose, so laying down with the knee out. Inhale, bring the sole of the foot back to the mat. Exhale, draw it back into the chest. And then inhale, extend that leg up. Exhale, back to mountain on our board or corpse pose. Inhale, reach both arms up. Exhale, draw the opposite knee in. Inhale your supine tree, so a tree pose, so the leg is going, knees going out, sole of the foot to the inside of the leg. Breath in. Exhale, that sole of the foot goes back to the mat. Inhale, we'll reach it up. Exhale, back to mountain pose. I might have missed one there, but that's okay. Inhale, reach both arms. Exhale, draw knee into chest. Inhale, supine tree. Exhale, bring the sole of the foot back down onto the mat, board. Inhale, extend that leg up to the sky. Exhale, put the leg down. Inhale, reaching both arms. Exhale, opposite knee draws in. Inhale, supine tree, so the knee drops to the side. Exhale, foot goes to mat, like board again. Inhale, then you extend it up. Oh, the sun. Exhale, regular mountain pose. All right, we're almost there for our relaxation. One more stretch. Let's reach our arms up and above our chest. So if you were on the board or on the water, obviously you could have your feet hanging off the edges, just laying on our backs here on our board. Then we'll reach our arms wide, let them rest in the water or wherever we want them to be. And we'll make our way into our Savasana. So take your time, get comfortable. Hopefully you can stay in your Savasana for a while. I'll read you a little healing garden meditation where you'll just stay here, relaxing. So let's close our eyes, settle in. We'll just do a body scan, actually. I think that suits the mood a little bit more. So you're laying down on your back. Maybe your feet are in the water, your hands are in the water. And allow any tension left in the legs to flow out the soles of the feet into the water, into the earth. Allow your ankles to give up their hold on the feet. Up into our shins, letting our shins sink down into our calves melting down into our boards. Noticing our knees and all areas of our knees, letting our kneecaps become free, just floating around. Moving up into our upper legs, noticing those strong, supple muscles of your legs supporting you. Feel some gratitude for them and relax them. Allow your muscles to give up their hold on the bone as we relax into this Shavasana, feeling safe and warm. Relaxing our pelvis, the lower back down into the earth, the mid back, the upper back to our bellies, softening the belly. Feeling a widening across our chest and the shoulder blades melt down a little further. Our upper arms, our elbows, and any last remaining bits of tension left in the upper body and arms, just melting out our fingertips into the water or into the earth. Moving up into our neck, feeling our neck relax. The back of our head supported. Moving into our forehead and softening it.